Here we go. How we doing, y'all? We're gonna talk about maximizing fitness through injury. All the dogs in the street are barking right now, of course. All of them, including me. Woo, woo! Man, these dogs always be tripping out here. They always be tripping. But hey, you gotta let them do their thing here and there. And, okay, so what are we gonna talk about, all right? So I made this video yesterday or 2 days ago talking about like finding a good balance point between super disciplined, puritanical lifestyle and then like the party, letting go, not giving an F life. And today, I kind of want to just talk about like working through, rehabbing injuries and stuff like that, because like it's just like so interesting, man. It's so interesting. Like I fell off this scooter and whatever, like I'm rehabbing this thing right now on my leg, and so it's like in the gym, it's like I'm learning how to trust my groin. Like the most like fundamental aspect of your legs is your groin. That's what connects you to the ground right there. And it's like if you don't have good grounding through your groin, everything feels off. Everything feels fucked up. And so I'm learning a lot right now about this whole recovery process through my own experience right now. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm just gonna share right now. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna start recording so I can post this on YouTube in a little bit too. But here we go. I just want to check one thing also. I just want to check how the audio sounds because I got that little background music going. So I know I'm live, so I wanted to see. Oh, actually, it doesn't sound too bad, yo. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go for it. Let me hit that record button. Bang, we're recording. Okay, sweet. So we're gonna talk about how we can do our best to maximize recovery, performance, strength through injury. And right now, I'm gonna share my screen here. And the big thing I want to share right now is like how most of the time, if we have a lower limb injury, I think this is a pretty standard thing for many people already, is that when we get bored, we just get bored of standing straight with perfect posture. And so then look at this like little chart talking about these tilts that we can have in our spine and our hips that like affect pain throughout the entire body. The headache in your temple, the crick in your neck, the ache in your back, the stiffness in your knee, the discomfort in your heel. All this comes from these little twists and these leanings in your hips and shoulders. All right, so I'm definitely got something like that going on. And so this is very similar to my case right here. I'm supporting all my left because I'd injured my right knee and my ankle and my hip. So this is exactly what I got going on right here. So I got a tight QL that's like kind of pretty weak actually. Tight right psoas, weak right glute, inner thigh, the adduct of the groin is really tight, and the right hammy is weak. So in the gym, I'm training this all the time. And then the left side, it's just like, it's almost like I have like a sciatic now. It's like so much energy, so much pain that you can feel in there all the time. And so you can see this is like a video of like, it's actually looking better now. I think I took a video, one second, let me do this for a minute. Because I did get a better video 2 days ago. So let me put that, oh shoot, didn't update yet. No, it's okay. All right, now, but I do got some new videos of me training like this stuff actually recently. But the big thing is you can see this stuff is what I'm trying to say. You can see this stuff right here. See here, this was like one that wasn't too long ago. It's getting better. That's like me using a band to like use it a lot, make it a lot better. All right, so bang, we're right here. Now we come back, and then what you notice when you're coming back from injury and you're healing these things, it's like there's emotions in the body. They're in there. You can feel it, because if you just think about that right groin, like I was saying, and in general, we just know our right hand is like generally this masculine energy, and our left hand is usually the feminine energy. And obviously it can be dependent on every single person. If you're naturally born left-handed, maybe it's different. But for us, maybe it's society, maybe it's just our own genetics, I'm not sure, but a lot of times we'll be very dominant on the right hand. And we're just reaching all the time. Reaching, we gotta do something. And the reason why I say, like, if you think about the left being a little more feminine, it's more about receiving, or like the guitar, okay. And then when we go into the hips, and the groin, the spine is your life support system. So you're down in the lower aspect, the lower lumbar area, fear, money, financial issues, buried emotions. It's like super deep stuff down here, because that's how you stay on your feet. That's how you stand up. That's how you feel secure in the moment. And so I imagine for a lot of athletes who have major injuries, or just regular people living their life and getting an injury, and then you feel lower back pain or your hips hurt, you can't stand your ground as good, it affects the way you just are. It does. It sounds kind of silly, but if you just pay attention to what you feel in your body, when you are not feeling great in the joints, usually you just don't make better decisions. You make okay, you can live and operate and make decisions like that and live like that forever, no doubt. But just imagine if you felt like light, if you felt loose. And boom. So what I'm recognizing, the big things that has been kind of like revealing to me has been interesting, is the heel, the self-judgment. And if we know about the stories of Achilles in Greek mythology, which the heel is named after, the guy was basically invincible except his Achilles heel. And metaphorically, it has to do with like taking yourself too seriously. It's like self-judgment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Achilles was like this like elite warrior, and he thought he was the shit and whatever and everything like that. He probably had a big ego with like his ability to fight. And then he got shot with arrow, and his like vulnerability was exposed, and he died. So we all have these like little, we literally physically all have an Achilles heel. If you snip someone's Achilles heel with a scissor, or like something crazy like that, like you can't really move the way you should, and you're basically dead meat out on the battlefield of life. And they say that about the hamstring too. He's been hamstrung. If you pull a hammy, you're just like, you're kind of stuck because you can't really stand your ground. You can't really walk or run forward that good. Now, does it say anything about the hammy here? No, I don't know if it does actually, but that's all right. But anyway, it's like there's this whole posterior chain that the Achilles heel on the back of your foot goes to the calf, goes to the hammy, goes to the glute. It's all connected. Okay. The calves, stress, tension, jealousy, worthy. The knee, stuck due to ego, stubborn, pride, fear. And so this is really interesting, because I'm really getting to feel this stuff, like my confidence, like my belief in myself, my discipline has got completely knocked upside down by having to learn how to retrain all this stuff. So that's what my knee looked like after I fell. Actually, that was the first time. Was that the first time? Oh no, that was the second time. That's when I fell. The second time. So, and right before that, I was really getting pretty smooth with my yoga routine. Like I was feeling pretty aligned and everything. And so for me, it's like I'm also like understanding that this is really teaching me like a little bit deeper level of body awareness to be able to coach people, help people out. Because already, if I go back to a video, before I fell, I already had this, right? This is a picture of me doing heavy cleans before I fell, and you can tell already my right hip, my right groin, Achilles, it wasn't really supporting me as much as the left was already anyway. And so the distinction, I think, I don't know if this is for everyone, but this is what it seems like to me. And I notice this when I coach people a lot of times when they're doing squats and deadlifts too. I notice it's usually the same thing. The left can really hold on and push. The right leg requires a lot of passion, intention, and just deep focus. It requires you to really want it. And so what I was going to say on that too is if you notice, a lot of time people have form breakdowns, it usually means they start leaning into the left hip. And maybe it's vice versa. If you're a left-handed person and then you're right foot dominant, then it's probably the vice versa. But that's usually what I see. Okay, and so the other thing I wanted to show here was, okay, let's just dive into that topic of self-judgment. So, because maybe what this means a lot of times, right, is like life is just trying to tell you to like do the things and like do the things that you really love doing with your life, and don't take yourself too seriously. Like, don't judge yourself too harsh. So for me, that's why I've been doing a lot more music stuff and singing, because it's like that's something I wanted to do, but I was judging myself for not being naturally a good singer or spending all this time in my life doing music stuff beforehand. But I love it. It's super cool, and it's really helping me just like, I don't know, just respect that more. And then judgment wise, it's helped me to just be a lot more honest with myself and just be more balanced and accepting with life, you know. But kind of before this, I had sort of like, not entirely, but I had a sort of this very judgy perspective on health and fitness. Like if I knew people weren't, you know, being the most healthy from my point of view, that they were like a inferior person. You know what I'm saying? I was literally like believing that people were like worse people than I was because they weren't as healthy as I was and stuff like that. And it's because I was judging my own self for doing things like that too. So, you know, let's just say like excess alcohol or excess sexuality or something, like eating too much sugar, which it's just like this weird silly game. And you know, and it's tricky because for me, as like, you know, doing fitness coaching and stuff like that, and competitions and everything like that, I have seen that like if you look at a lot of top peak performers, like they're not always like super puritanical or anything like that either. They understand balance. A lot of times they don't take themselves too seriously, and then obviously if you get exposed and you get hurt, then you gotta kind of come back and get back to it. But sometimes what I notice in these fitness industries or these personal trainers, the magazines, there's a lot of guilt and shaming always. That's the marketing. Guilt and shame, guilt and shame, guilt and shame, guilt and shame, guilt and shame. And a lot of times they're always just focusing on the stuff that's on the surface, you know, rather than really getting into the deeper subconscious aspects of what's going on with health. And for me, that's what I've really started to learn now with this journey, is that physical therapy, physical healing, and really a grounded level of fitness that supports your genuine desires to move your body, it requires getting into your thought patterns and understanding what these emotions are in your life. And I'm really blown away by it every single day. I'm really blown away by it because it just keeps going further. In my case, like this is like my groin thing. It's gone to my teeth even. My teeth have changed. My smile has changed. My vision. And it's crazy. Like I can tell that my brain on the left side, even, it feels like more active or something than my right, or like something because I do a lot of meditation too. So I can feel that like something's not as centered as it used to be. And when I do focus on more intention and meditation and breathing and get better airflow in both nostrils, it helps out, because my right nostril, I can tell it doesn't get as much airflow as my left. Like this is just weird stuff you start paying attention to through an injury. And so let me turn off the screen for a sec there. And I'm just curious right here. Let me see 1 second. If there's right here, I was gonna show on my phone since it's not updated yet on my right here. Okay. This video I've been doing, so really interesting, right? So I'm showing if you do overhead squat and you suspend some weights on bands in the gym, it's like you can right here, let's put it right there. And then maybe I'm just doing back squat this video. When you feel all this instability, it really helps you just kind of feel everything way better and it becomes a much more conscious effort to your exercise regimen. And so I think like if you can use bands, any sort of stability training, that really helps you take it from like and it's sort of like almost still like a surface level thing, I'll be real, because you're exercising rather than really getting deep into it through some other sort of therapy, maybe like, because I like breath work too. But for me, this is like a breath work, right? You have to inhale. All right, see, I'm inhaling, and then I gotta push, and I gotta feel all the muscles finding balance. Finding balance. You know what I'm saying? Finding balance. Inhale, exhale. And so, man, it's really very, very fascinating, and I just respect and understand that this healing process, if you got joint pain and stuff like that, it really is a game changer to just be patient with yourself, experiment with a lot of different things, but ultimately what life's going to show you that you need to do the things that you actually love with your life too. And yeah, I don't know if there's anybody right now on the stream right now, leave a comment, mention any joint pain or anything like that you feel, because I'm just kind of curious if there's something that anybody's got a perspective on. But the other thing I was going to say, let me pull up, is the shoulder. I want to talk about the shoulder now too, because I went really deep into the hip and I talked about judgment and security. Now the shoulder is very interesting too, because, boom, go back here. A lot of people have shoulder issues too, shoulder and neck. And so there's like this feeling, if you got shoulder pain, lack of joy, you see that negative attitude, life is a burden. That's what they normally say. And burden and overwhelm is what shows on the map. And that's what I kind of feel too. It's like, when your neck and shoulder just kind of feels weird. It's like, it's really hard to enjoy your moment, your present moment. It's weird. It's like that. And I think what it comes down to, if you look at the hand, right, the shoulders are connected to the hands, the ability to take and give. Okay. So in my situation right now, I can feel like my left shoulder is not as stable as it was too. And that is related to a number of things I'm still trying to pinpoint to the most specific thing. But it's a little bit in accordance with this too, because in general I did a lot less weightlifting and calisthenics once my leg was hurting, so my grip was just not used as much. But I did do more guitar that helped me kind of build a different connection with my left hand and shoulder. But still, I can feel like something in the left shoulders, there's like, I wouldn't say it's overwhelmed or burden, it just feels more like my grasping of life, the ability to take, right here, this part right here, is not extremely empowered. And why would it be not empowered? Why would it not be empowered? Whereas my right, then if we look at my right is like all the way through. So it's like, I feel like my ability to give, my right arm is like going as hard as possible. And it's like overactive. My thumb is like really being tired. And my wrist. Boom. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now, is with the left shoulder, a little bit more with that. But anyway, for just training, I'm basically just doing kettlebell stuff, bands, rotator cuff strengthening, and just feeling what that's trying to tell me emotionally. I still don't have all the answers, or I don't have, every person's different. Feel the row. What is my lats trying to tell me? Why is my left rhomboid not as strong? You know what I'm saying? And that's the things we're like looking to work through here and understand better. But what I can tell is definitely, if we just think about ability to take from others, like it says there, grasping life, letting go. Yeah, there's been this strange like experience with that, where it's like I haven't had super good boundaries for working with, when I coach people, to like expect more from them, and I'll try to give as much as I can. And then I will, like, at the same point, like, punish myself and them, because I'll feel like I'm not receiving enough from them sometimes, that I won't even give as good as I can. And so there's like this whole cycle of projection of like giving and taking that is being challenged too, you know what I'm saying? And that's the trippy part about this. This is where I'm going to take this to like the end of this conversation. I want to make this like feel like an epiphany moment for myself and for the viewers, is that remember, like, we are always according to quantum physics and stuff like that. And even the Bible or even the religious texts, a lot of them kind of mention this too. Like, we are essentially the creators of our experience. Like, we are in control of our attitude. We project more or less our consciousness onto reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, our eyes, boom, they interpret all these signals, all these colors, and then we make meaning inside of ourselves. And so usually when we're projecting something like, oh, this person is doing X, Y, and Z, and this makes me feel a certain way, it's because you can relate with being that person as well too. Like, if you had no understanding of the way that person was operating or whatever, and you wouldn't really be affected by it. And so that's what it's like. The big part is like this. There's this whole like mirror aspect to reality, and just like we know from religious texts, is like how you treat your neighbors, how you treat yourself. It's a lot like that too. So we just have to remember, and I just need to remember this. That's why I like to do these little epiphany moments for me too. Like my wife, my baby, the guy at the store, like that's just basically me from another perspective that I have to like honor, you know what I'm saying? Like, and overall, it's like this healing journey that we go through, any of us, it's always, it's a shared experience, and it's about growing within ourselves. And that's basically what it is, man. So it's like, how can we remember that we are basically that person that we insulted, that person that we judged, that person that we put all of our energy, all of our fear onto them, all of our shame onto them. Why are we doing that to them? And why are we doing that to ourselves all the time? Why we feel unworthy? And so, because a lot of times it just gets down to unworthiness. Like, why we don't deserve to be living the life that we want to. It's like that's that feeling. And yeah, it's a big task. It's a big task. But hey, it's good. A lot of us are kind of waking up to these big ideas, and I think this is how we can bring the world together, is by just making our bodies healthier. And because when I feel better, when my joints feel good, when I feel like I'm able to help out, I feel confident with my skin, and maybe if I feel more able to help out, maybe sing, use some of my unique talents a little bit, play some music, then it's like, hey, guess what? The people around me might have a better day too, and they will reciprocate. Maybe they'll do something that's gonna make my day way better. Maybe I'm not having a great day, but it'll help out. So for me, that's why I think fitness, I always talk about fitness being like the gateway, and the gateway to like a higher state of consciousness. Obviously, some people, there's ableism, right? Doesn't mean some people aren't able to move, and that doesn't mean that they can't have a beautiful experience a higher state of consciousness. Of course they can, right? If they can't move, they could probably meditate really well. There's probably different advantages from that too. But for those people that are able and can move their bodies, and they love to go jump and dance and do the things they love, it's key. It's huge to go live your life that way. And just boom, let's just share more powerful moments together and have gratitude for the bodies that we do have. So even if we got injuries, remember, if you still got your hands and your feet and they're still working, you can still keep going. I mean, we see those people that have like no legs or one leg, and they're wrestling, or they're doing like a competition, they have prosthetics and stuff like that on their hands. And you know, mad respect, those people still keep going. So there's never an excuse totally to not live life the way we're really looking to express our body in, besides our own shadow, our own self-judgment that we got to work through. So yeah, that's basically the message right there. If you got any questions on joint injuries, whatever, getting fit, shredding weight, eating healthier, how to use your breath better while you move, go ahead and leave some comments here below. What kind of topics you want to dive deeper into, and I will I can study what I can to provide some perspective, and I'll go streaming. And then follow me on Instagram at YouCanEtchart, and I do personal training. Right now I'm just coaching one person. I'm looking to get way more people going. I was coaching a lot of people a while ago, and I'm ready to get more folks going. I want to get people healthy, happy, and fit, just like I want to do with myself right here now. So stay tuned for my journey. I'm going to keep showing the things I'm learning, and we're going to